Good morning. Thank you so much for joining me on today's Stream. As you might have guessed, I'm Tara. We have Lawrence over there at the helm taking care of business.
Hello.
And yeah, thanks for joining me this morning. So I thought we would play a little bit around with the camera and with the settings and everything so that I could make it just a little bit easier for you guys to see what I was doing last time. But for those of you who have not joined us before and who this is your first time here, which of course it's only our second stream anyway, so you're not missing much. But that said, I have a project that I'm working on. I am working on a chemise or a camicia, as the Italians say, apparently at least. And what that is it's an undergarment. So you can see my big pile of fabric right here. That's what I am working on. I have had some foibles over the last couple of days. If you've been following my Instagram, then you will know that I sewed in the gussets under the arms incorrectly and had to remove those to put them back on again. So that's actually exactly what I'm going to be working on as we talk today. You can see that they're already kind of very shoddily pinned in place. But first, before I do that, I just want to make it clear that I would like to know all about your projects as well. I want to know what you're doing. What are you working on? Are you knitting? Are you making something for your house? Are you making, again, like something for Renaissance Festival like I am? Tell me in the chat box. Lawrence will take your questions about any projects that you're making. I'll try to help and answer them, but I can't guarantee anything as I am a novice when it comes to most things, including crafty work.
How dare you? A novice wouldn't have the news of the subscriber count that you've accrued this week. Come on, how have you done?
So yeah, that's the reason why we're having the Sew Stream today. Thank you so much, those of you who are tuning in and are already subscribers. We have already, even since deciding that I wanted to do this extra bonus Sew Stream for you guys, because I achieved, well, you helped me achieve for sure, 200 subscribers. We've surpassed 250 now. So again, thank you. I don't know. I'm over the moon. I don't know what to say, except just thank you again. So here we are. And of course, we're going to do some more sewing because of that. So the other thing that I will mention before we get into sewing, taking questions, just laughing and talking it up, is I went to the hairdressers yesterday. And you can see that Tigerlilie Salon in Chicago here, they hooked me up and I got this wonderful haircut that is this really wonderful platinum blonde. But what is crazy to me, and you may have seen it in the description, I don't know, but I was watching YouTube and sewing last night because I'm sewing all the time now. It feels like I never stop sewing, guys. It's crazy. But I was sewing last night, watching YouTube, and I came across a video by Brad Mondo, who is this guy who does a whole bunch of like reactions to people's hair and, you know, the crazy things that go wrong. And he's quite funny. You should look him up. But he did one for a YouTuber called Joana. I think her last name is Ceddia, but I'm not sure how you pronounce it. So Joana, if you're watching this, please let me know how you pronounce your last name because I don't know how you pronounce it. And she did the exact same thing that I have been doing for the last few months on YouTube. And she decided to like box dye her hair and go through that whole transition to become blonde. And I was watching her transition from doing her own box, very botched job, which P.S. she was way better at it than I was. And in fact, she at least was smart enough to have somebody help her. So her mother helped her with this, which is way smarter than what I did. I just literally like poured box stuff all over myself a number of times. And then Lawrence, you know, watched from the bedroom confusedly, wondering what the smell was, you know?
Yeah, but I do that often. I mean, the bathroom is right next door to our bedroom. So different story. Carry on.
So he would just watch me, but he wasn't really involved in the process except to just kind of do the quick once over. Yep, I think you covered it all. And then we would be done. And of course, for the last few months, you've seen on my Instagram, maybe even seen it on Facebook or on other social media, that I've had lots of spots in my hair from previous dye jobs and also just my actual hair color, which is kind of a mousy, somewhere between a blonde and a brown. Really horrible stuff, actually. So yeah, it hasn't looked great, but I went to the hairdresser finally yesterday and got it sorted out. And I want to thank Tanya for the amazing work that she did. I also want to say that Joanna's hair does look a little bit better than mine. And the reason for that is because I was ridiculous and did not strip the color out of my hair first. So what you see in terms of these stripes that are not that beautiful platinum, that's all of the red hair dye that we could not strip out of my hair.
It's been bugging me for the last 24 hours. Who do you look like? Now, obviously, you look like somebody from the 1920s, but there's someone specific who's had that hair, and I can't think who it is.
Maybe somebody who's watching knows. So if you do, then please comment. Who do I look like?
Yes, and on that very note, if you do have a comment or a question or anything for Tara today, put it in the live chat, and I'll be on duty to read that question out.
Yeah, I'm happy to take any questions that you have really about anything today. Again, this is your video because y'all were amazing in giving me these subscribers that I just can't, I can't believe it. So let's go into the sewing, shall we? Yeah, so I told you before, I'm working on this chemise, and we have figured out a way, we hope, cross fingers, to at least make this work a little bit better for you. So what I've got right here is just a scrap piece of the beautiful batiste that I am really ravaging, let's be honest, as I make my chemise. And I have a very shoddily done that was done, by the way, right before we started this. Basically what this is a running stitch, and then every 2 or 3 stitches, I will do a back stitch just to make sure that everything is still holding together really well. So we're going to show you close up now what that looks like. And I've used red thread so that you can see the stitches and see how terrible these stitches have been done, guys, because again, I did it right before we went live. But I am doing a back stitch, right? Starting with that back stitch. And then I'm doing 2 to 3 running stitches. 1, and then I'll do another one, right? And then after I have done those running stitches, and again, pardon, I guess it's probably good that I'm going slow, but it's a weird angle. And then I just do another back stitch and some more running stitches. And that's how I've been doing my running stitches. And though I have not personally looked into whether or not this is period appropriate or not, Bernadette Banner does seem to think so. So supposedly this is period accurate. But what I do know is that it is a little bit stronger than just a running stitch on its own. So that's nice. But then after I've done that, to finish the hem, or the seam in this case, is I will fold it over and then fold it over again so that, and let me just kind of adjust this here. Lawrence, do we have any questions while I'm doing that?
We don't at the minute. In fact, I'm getting a message that says unable to connect to chat.
Ooh.
Please try again later. So I'm going to look into that while you continue and see why that's happening.
I'm sorry, guys.
Yeah, me too. I was wondering about that because we do have 8 people on.
Huh. Well, I hope that he can get that fixed for you, because I would really like to hear what you guys are working on and field your questions. But anyway, yeah, so you fold it over twice. And then, and this is really not something you're supposed to do, you should always finish your edge first, but I'm not going to, just so that I can show you how I've done this. What you will do is you take it and you just scoop up a teeny tiny bit of the outside fabric and then a lot more of the inside seam, and then come through that seam. And what it does is it makes this beautiful flat felled edge, right? And then all of the bad edges that were on the inside of that seam at that point will be covered up and everything will be nice and flat. So on my example here, you can see that I have already done some of that, probably on the other arm, because that is the hot mess that I am today, guys.
And while you continue with that, Tara, the live chat is not working in my admin system, but it looks like it is actually working for everybody else.
Oh,
I just went to the video itself. So
I'm so glad.
While you go through that, should we catch up on some of these comments?
So then this is one of the worst examples of my my beautiful, if you want to call it that, flat felled seam. And then what will happen is I'm going to press this down using an iron, and then it will be nice and flat. And on the outside, you will barely even notice that there's been any stitching at all, in theory. Again, not the most beautiful work, but, you know, I'm trying to do this quickly. So that's what that is. But yeah, so that's what I have been working on today. And hopefully, I hope, and please let me know in the comments, was that more clear for you? Because if it was, I think that that's probably what we're going to do until we get a second camera, which, you know, might be happening pretty soon. We'll see. You can help contribute to getting that second camera if you become a Patreon supporter of mine. So if you want to become a patron, then the link is in the description, and you also can go to my YouTube page, and I believe it's in, you know, the little corner links as well. And until September 10th, if you would like to become a $5 or more patron, then I will send a beautiful signed photograph of myself directly to your mail. And I mean snail mail too. I'm not just gonna like email it to you, because that would be really rude. So $5 or more by September 10th. And I will send you a pretty photograph of myself signed, you know, like old Hollywood style. Yay. So yeah, let me get back to my sewing work, and then we will finally get to talking to these wonderful people who have shown up to our sewing circle today, Lawrence.
Indeed. Do you want me to do that now, Tara?
Yes, please.
Okay. So ordinarily, I would acknowledge all of your good mornings and hellos and all of that. But because we have the issue, I will just sort of generally say thank you and good morning to all of you.
Good morning, everybody.
And we'll move forward to some of the more sort of specific comments or questions. I went high pitched there, didn't mean to. So let's see. Shauna T says, I knit usually during football games.
Oh, nice.
Is that while you're playing or watching? That would be interesting to know. And then Shauna also says, your hair is gorgeous.
Oh, thank you.
How about that?
I like it. She did a really good job. It did not look nearly as nice as this. And it also, as I told Tanya yesterday, I don't think I could have even tried to achieve this on my own, because she did tell me like what she used on my hair to get it to this color and to this consistency, because it is really soft too. I'm so impressed. Like, oh my gosh. But I don't think I'm going to be able to do this myself. So if I do decide to maintain it, then I will probably be going back to her pretty regularly. She suggests like every 5 to 6 weeks or so, but we'll see how that goes.
Street Cred 31 says, I've never sewn in my life, so this is fantastic.
Oh, good. I hope that, well, even if you just grab a scrap of anything and then like get started on something, then at least it's good practice, right? And it's also really calming. That's why I like to do this.
Robert Leonard similarly says, I have never sewn before. But is there a starter kit at the hobby shop to start with?
Oh, I'm sure. Like if you go to Hobby Lobby, or if you go to Michael's, or even to Joanne Fabrics. I remember when I was maybe like 10 and I had to get something like that for home ec. They come in like just little like plastic kits essentially that comes with like a place to store your pins, and then, you know, like maybe even a little scissors and something to measure with, and then your sewing needles and your thread. You can find those things at pretty much any hobby or sewing shop ever.
Cassiopeia, which is a very clever YouTube name, says, I am not a crafty person, but I love to watch others create. I really want to learn to sew and have no one to learn from. This will help me greatly.
Oh, good.
I haven't finished. You are amazing.
Oh, come on.
Yes.
No, that's great. I'm so glad. No, again, like any advice that you take from this is fabulous. Please don't come to me for advice, though, unless you want kind of a half-baked response, because I'm not gonna lie, I'm not a professional, as it were. I have worked in professional settings before, but I'm not sure that I have been great at working in professional settings. Again, like some of the people I work with in the past would be like, oh my God, Tara, what the are you doing? Because look at how badly pressed this is. Look how long I took to like sew this to where everything is already like coming apart. It's not good. But I'm glad that I can help you out with getting started.
Yeah, well, and as I said to Tara offline, I think, and this is what I found being a YouTuber, you over time become more of an expert in the things you're talking about by doing these videos and interacting with like-minded folk. Which is always interesting. Tartan Tabby says, I am loving your participation in the Vintage Hair Challenge.
Oh, good. I'm so glad. And maybe, I don't know, maybe you've got some ideas on how I can do this with today's challenge, because as you know, it's supposed to be, I believe, milkmaid braids, and I have no hair left to make milkmaid braids with. So if you have any ideas, please let me know. And that goes for anybody. And also, as an aside, Tartan Tabby, I'm so glad that you made this one. Yay. Yeah. You got me this time.
Tartan Tabby follows up with, it looks incredibly soft. How does that even happen? I don't think they're talking about our cat.
Well, no, he got confined to the bedroom here a moment ago because he was biting me right before the live stream. I was so excited.
He always does that.
I thought he was going to be able to hang out with us today, but apparently not. So I'm sorry, guys.
But I think Tartan Tabby was referring to your hair. And I always wonder how Tara or anyone does amazing things with their hair. Yesterday, she had extensions in and she looked like one of the Bangles. It was really
Did you see that photo on my Instagram page? I think it's still up there, guys, on my stories. It was very big hair. Very, very big.
And this may put your mind at rest, wife, but Cassiopeia says that half-baked is more than I have now. Practice makes perfect, though.
That's true. Good point. And I honestly think that is probably the most underrated phrase in the world, even though everyone uses it. But it is actually true. Practice is the only way that you're going to get where you need to go.
Jay Joy, I used to sew and want to start up again. Been watching a lot of sewing videos lately.
Yay. Well, welcome. I'm so glad.
Yeah, so that was it. Now, sorry there for that glitch. I'm not sure what happened. We'll blame YouTube for this one, but I think so far I've caught up with all of the comments that are in. I think. If not, then, shout at me. Not literally. I've got hearing problems. And I wouldn't hear you anyway because it's text-based.
So what we've got here, as I said before, is essentially a failure to do the right thing when it comes to this sleeve gusset. So if you've been like looking at the chemise link, which should be in the show notes, Lawrence will get it in there for you. Then essentially what these are 10-inch by 10-inch squares that have been pinned together with the sleeve, which is right here, and the main body part, which is on the other side. And what I did originally, and this is where I messed up, is I literally just, and I don't know, maybe we can do a close-up again, I'm not sure. But what I did, which was really silly, is I just did a plain stitch all the way across, just like this, but without any kind of staggering. And it was so close to the end that there was no way that I was going to be able to do like any kind of seam with that, whether it was a flat felled or heart or whatever, right? So it was a big mess, and I had to rip it all out and then do it again. And that's the reason why there's so much thread just hanging around, because I haven't pulled any of that out yet. But what I'm doing right now is clearly a very bad job of my running stitch again, so that I can put this together and actually fell it correctly. So that's the idea there. Any other comments or questions at this point?
I don't know. I've got to go from being cameraman to admin. Let's have a look.
Lawrence is a jack of all trades when it comes to these live streams. Everybody thank Lawrence in the box as well today.
Oh, it's not. I mean, it's mostly me.
I mean, I obviously don't have a computer in front of me or anything, so he is doing all of the actual work. I'm just sitting here with my new haircut.
We've got a bit of a shout out for the troll haircut.
From
Tartan Tabby. The troll doll braid bun was epic.
Oh, thank you.
It was epic. I almost climbed up it. It was that tall. And then we have another comment. This is from Street Cred 31. My apologies, I'm behind on things. What is the project ultimately culminating into? Are you seeing something or sewing something for Lawrence as well?
I wish I could. I don't think I'm going to have time, but this is for a Renaissance festival that we're going to in Maryland with some friends, which we actually just bought the tickets for yesterday. Yay!
Very excited.
High five.
Oh, okay. I'm on camera.
Woo! And so we're going to be going and visiting some friends. And I'm hoping at least that we're going to get some footage of it as well. Probably for Lost in the Pond for Halfway Planet, but still, you will see some of that epicness. And what it's going to culminate in is this is the undergarment to the dress, which the pattern is over there, Lawrence, if you want to hand it to me. And the dress is a wonderful gown that is based off of extant materials of an Italian common woman's outfit from the 16th century, which is very similar to a garment that I very much appreciate from Ever After, which is one of my favorite movies, or at least it was growing up. I haven't seen it for a number of years. So maybe we should have a watch party. Oh my gosh. Don't you think we should have a watch party on Facebook?
Yeah.
Yay, let's have a watch party at some point. I will let you know about that when it happens. That's a really good idea. I should probably write that down. But in the meantime, yes. So Ever After, the dress that Danielle wears at the beginning or toward the beginning of the movie as kind of like a common person, which is her actual like everyday clothing. That is what I am trying to achieve. Am I going to make it in time? Hopefully, but I'm feeling more and more doubt as time progresses. So that is the project that I'm working on.
You can do it. Not to put pressure on you. That's totally fine. But we're very much looking forward to the Renaissance Festival because it ties into both this channel and Lost in the Pond, which, of course, takes us traveling around. So that's going to be really fun. Would you have a couple more comments? Mostly people thanking Lawrence.
Yay, Lawrence.
Thank you.
Without him, this would not be possible. Literally, this is a 2-person job to get this up for everyone.
I must say, it is exciting sitting on the other side of the camera.
I know it's usually me.
Yeah, absolutely. So where was I? I don't want to have missed any because the comments are coming in thick and or fast.
Oh, great.
Probably just thick and fast. We can drop the other bit there. Let's see. And Street Cred 31 reveals that they used to live in Chicago. They have an old friend who lives out here who sews too. He makes the messenger bags that a lot of cyclists wear, which are called wig bags, WIG bags.
Okay, I've never heard of that, but I will look into it because certainly Lawrence and I both enjoy riding our bikes pretty much anywhere in Chicago. And in fact, if you live in the Chicago area, you will know it's us because we have matching helmets.
Yes, we do. Yes, we do. And they're a little British, aren't they?
They are a little bit British.
Yes.
So.
And Street Cred 31 says, oh, wow, this is so rad. I think in relation to the Renfest and the whole project as a whole.
Oh, cool. Well, thank you very much. I appreciate that. I like to sew. So.
And on the subject of the Renaissance fairs, Shauna T is a big fan of those and cannot wait to see the videos on it. I suppose, like I said a moment ago, we'll have videos around the Renfest on both of our channels.
Yeah.
I assume.
I hope. I mean, the idea is for now, at least on this channel, just to do these sew streams because I feel like, as I said in the last video, it's important to me to have a community of people who like to do crafty stuff. And I had that community a little bit when I lived in Indianapolis, but since we moved up here, I've really only found one other person who even sews or does anything crafty at all that I can actually like connect with and talk to on a pretty regular basis. So, and in fact, Tracy, if you're watching, thank you for being my friend. But outside of that, I haven't really been able to find like a community base for that sort of thing. So I just decided to create one myself, and here we are. So thank you very much again for tuning in and for subscribing, because I just felt like I really needed this. But at some point, maybe down the line in the future, I might make some videos, like actually do real work and edit them and stuff. We'll see.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I've been putting pressure on you, haven't I, for that?
He has.
Well, the fact remains, and we can't really display it in these live streams just because we don't have the technical setup yet, but we have really good macro lenses to be able to do excellent close-up shots on things, and I just think we could make some really good videos around sewing and fabric and all of that. So that would be really interesting to see. Cassiopeia, we are planning on going to the Ren Fair in St. Louis this year. I've heard all about sort of different Ren Fests and Ren Fairs all around the US. Cassiopeia lives in Southern Illinois. We're very familiar with that area.
We are.
I don't have a dress yet. Hopefully I can make my own dress for next year.
Yay, I hope so. And who knows, maybe next year I will actually like make a dress that looks nice. So I'm with you there. I'll make hopefully another one. Oh, and in fact, along the lines of other projects, I'm hoping after this is done to start a stripey project. So I don't know if you have heard, but on Carolina's channel, who is linked on my YouTube page, she's one of the YouTube channels that I have put on there as featured. She is doing like a stripey challenge where she's making this really cool dress. And I've been following her Instagram and all of the amazing work that people have been doing. And I think I'm going to try my hand at that when I'm finished with this in September. So we'll see if I can actually meet that deadline too, because I think her deadline is the end of September, which means I will be struggling again to be on top of things. Yay.
Streetcred31 says that they'll send over photos of the bag that their friend sewed for them.
Great.
So we can take a look at that.
Yeah, I would love that.
I actually need something that creates portability for the things that I carry to and from work or wherever I'm going. And I suspect you do as well.
At some point, I would really like to have some new panniers for my bike, because I'm feeling like I have this basket that is really ridiculous. Like it's kind of fallen apart on one side, so it sits lopsided. And at some point, the entire thing is just going to fall over and all of my stuff will pour out of it. So before that happens, I would very much like to get some panniers for the back.
And we are at 3 minutes on time. Just to read through some of these remaining comments. Tartan Tappy says, I love doing arts and crafts, so this is amazing. I am currently working on teaching myself to make resin jewelry.
Ooh. I
want to use the flowers from my opa's funeral to create a necklace.
Well, I am sorry to hear about the funeral and about your opa, but I think that that is a really cool idea. So when you get started with that, and especially like when you've got the finished product, then please, by all means, share that. It sounds absolutely amazing.
Yes, and Sue M, I love crafty stuff. I spin, knit, sew, weave. I have a YouTube channel, Spinning the Past, in which I discuss historical fiber art.
Oh, how cool.
And live downstate on the Mississippi. Oh, brilliant. Okay. I misread that as in Mississippi and thought that doesn't sound downstate from us, but come visit. Lawrence's kin lived here. So there we go. That's
really cool. So fun fact about me, I started my entire professional life as a historic interpreter. And I worked at Conner Prairie Living History Park, which you might be familiar with if you do a lot of, like spinning and needlecraft and that sort of thing, because I believe that they have their own kind of department that specializes in historic fibers as well. I did not work in that part. I was actually a historic interpreter. So I didn't really do a lot of things outside of like what I'm doing right now, which was just make some stuff by hand while I talk to people. That is what my specialty is. But I loved every minute of it. And I'm not going to lie, I feel like it kind of set me up for wanting to do things like this. So maybe at some point we will get in touch with you. And when I start making videos, we might even collab. We'll see.
Sue M volunteered at Conner Prairie.
Hey!
Got the t-shirt, she says.
I love that.
Very quickly here, because we do only have 1 minute left, but we have some good comments that came in. One of them from Jay Joy. Anyone who has friends who sew, share a link to this live stream with them. Yes, absolutely. This live stream, but specifically Tara's YouTube account. It may sound strange, but I'll try and share the link if I have it available. Or, of course, you can tell them to come to this live stream and subscribe through the usual method of doing so.
Absolutely.
I just want to acknowledge, because we did have a latecomer who just joined. That is Beth Meredith. Hello.
Hi, Beth.
Indeed. And Robert Leonard says, don't forget that Renaissance, or Renaissance, as Americans would say, are time periods, so not all clothes were perfect.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Well, and in fact, I reveled in the fact that I was able to basically take this beautiful batiste and then just like piece together parts without even really using a pattern. I've never done anything like that before, and it has been not really a challenge. It's actually pretty easy to do, but it's just a very different process from what I'm used to. So that has been really fun so far.
Yep. And StreetCred31 says that we should let their friend know of our interest in those kinds of bags, because he customizes everything and makes the best bags and panniers.
I say pannier, but I don't know
pannier. The
how
French
you're actually
way.
supposed to say it.
For cyclists, no joke. Clearly, we're not expert cyclists like we make ourselves out to be. And so I've just realized I don't handily have a link to Tara's YouTube channel, but definitely tell people.
But we know what it is now, because yes. PS, since I got over 200 subscribers, I made it into youtube.com/Tara Cantrell. So there we are. We have a YouTube channel now.
There we go. There we go. Well, we are 1 minute past the hour. Tara, any closing comments?
Again, thank you so much for the subscriber count. I'm floored. I don't think that I have ever seen a YouTube channel like that, like, grow over the course of 24 hours as quickly as I've seen that happen. And I don't even know what I did to deserve it. So thank you so much.
You're amazing.
I really appreciate it. And I'm really excited to see you guys on Wednesday. So please join me again on Wednesday from 8 to 8:30 Central Time. And we will hopefully be past this point. I will see you later.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye.